Mysteries and controversies question. Mark, did China find alien tech on the moon? What if I told you that we are not alone? That somewhere in the vast, silent expanse of the moon lies a secret so profound it could rewrite human history. Pause. Let that sink in. For centuries, the moon has been Earth's silent companion, mysterious, distant, watching. But what if it's more than just a barren rock? What if it holds answers to questions we've been too afraid to ask? Recently, whispers have emerged from the shadows of space exploration. Whispers that China, yes, China, may have stumbled upon something unnatural on the lunar surface, something that doesn't fit, something alien. Is it possible? Did China's Chang'e missions uncover alien technology on the moon? And if so, why haven't they told us? Buckle up, space detectives, because today on KM Celestial Journey, we're diving deep into one of the most controversial and mind-blowing mysteries of our time. Chapter 1, The Moon's Dark Secrets, a mystery written in shadows. Imagine standing on the moon's surface, the airless silence, the crushing stillness. Beneath your feet, dust untouched for billions of years. Above you, an endless black sky, punctured only by the unblinking eye of Earth, watching, waiting. Pause. Let the weight of that image settle. Now imagine something else. Imagine that you're not alone. Because what if the moon, our silent celestial companion, the subject of poets and scientists alike, has been keeping a secret so vast, so unthinkable, that it could shatter everything we believe about our place in the cosmos? This isn't science fiction. This isn't speculation. This is a real mystery, one that begins with China's lunar missions and ends, well, we don't know where it ends. And that's what makes this so terrifying. The Chang'e missions, a prelude to the unknown. In 2007, China took its first step into the cosmic unknown with Chang'e-1, an uncrewed lunar orbiter. On paper, it was just another scientific mission, mapping the moon, studying its composition. Routine. But then came Chang'e-3 in 2013. This was different. This was the first soft landing on the moon in 37 years, and it carried something, or rather someone new, U2, the Jade Rabbit, a rover designed to explore, to dig, to uncover. And then, things got strange. The anomaly that shouldn't exist. For the first few days, U2 transmitted data like clockwork. Images of the lunar surface, soil samples, radiation readings. And then it happened. A photograph, grainy but unmistakable. A structure. Not a rock, not a crater. A structure. Sharp angles, symmetry, the kind of geometry that doesn't occur naturally. Officially, NASA called it a play of light and shadow. Chinese scientists dismissed it as imaging artifacts. But the truth? No one really knew. Because shortly after that image was taken, U2 stopped. Not a slow malfunction, not a gradual power failure. It just stopped. China called it a mechanical control abnormality. Independent researchers? They called it something else entirely. The silence that followed. Here's where the story takes a darker turn. After U2's sudden failure, China's space agency, the CNSA, went quiet. Too quiet. No press releases, no detailed explanations, just silence. And then, buried in an obscure scientific journal, a single line, almost overlooked. Unusual mineral formations detected at the landing site. Unusual. Not rare. Not previously unobserved. Unusual. A word that in science means we don't know what this is. A word that in any other context would have sparked headlines. But there were no headlines, no global announcements. Just that word. Unusual. The whistleblower who vanished. 2 years later, a man named Dr. Li Wen, a mid-level data analyst working with the Chang'e-3 team, gave an interview to a small tech blog in Hong Kong. The interview was supposed to be about lunar geology. But then the reporter asked the question, "Did you two find something unexpected?" A pause, a flicker of hesitation. And then Dr. Lee's response, barely audible. "Some things are not for the public." The interview was cut short. The next day, the blog's article was scrubbed. And Dr. Lee? Reassigned. Officially, he was promoted. Unofficially, he disappeared. The second rover and the second mystery. In 2019, China returned to the moon with Chang'e 4, this time landing on the far side. The side perpetually hidden from Earth. The side no human had ever explored. And once again, something happened. The rover U-22 began transmitting data, then suddenly changed course. Not a minor adjustment, a sharp, deliberate redirection. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, watching from above, captured the maneuver. The official explanation? Avoiding rough terrain. But the rover's new path? It led directly to a crater. A crater that, according to thermal scans, was colder than its surroundings. A crater that should not have been colder. Unless something was blocking the sun's heat. Something beneath the surface. The signal that wasn't supposed to be there. Then came the real bombshell. In early 2020, amateur radio astronomers, hobbyists who listened to deep space transmissions, picked up something impossible. A signal. Faint, encrypted, originating from the moon. From Chang'e 4's landing site. The signal lasted 37 seconds. Then silence. China denied it, called it ground interference. But the amateurs, they knew what they heard. Because this signal, it wasn't in any known frequency used by spacecraft. It wasn't human. The question that won't go away. So what really happened on the moon? Did China find something? Something buried? Something artificial? Or is this all just coincidence, conspiracy, and overactive imaginations? The answer? We don't know. And that's the most terrifying part. Because the moon isn't just a dead rock. It's a place of shadows. And in those shadows, something is waiting. Chapter 2, The Forbidden Zone. What did China really find on the dark side of the moon? Imagine a place where no human eyes have ever seen. A land of perpetual shadow, untouched by Earth's glow. A silent, barren wasteland, or so we thought. Pause. Let the weight of that sink in. The far side of the moon, the hidden hemisphere, forever turned away from us. A place so mysterious, even NASA's Apollo missions never dared to land there. But on January 3rd, 2019, China did what no other nation had ever attempted. Their Chang'e 4 spacecraft touched down in the von Karman crater, a desolate, unexplored region. And what happened next was anything but ordinary. The signal that shouldn't exist. At first, everything went according to plan. The lander deployed its rover, U-22, which began its slow crawl across the gray, dusty terrain. Scientists celebrated. Humanity had finally conquered the moon's forbidden side. But then, something happened. A signal. Faint, irregular. At first, engineers dismissed it as interference, a glitch in the rover's systems. But the signal persisted, and it wasn't coming from Earth. It was coming from below. Deep beneath the lunar surface, something was reflecting radio waves back at the rover. Something dense, something metallic. The Chinese Space Agency, CNSA, remained tight-lipped. Official reports called it an unexpected geological anomaly. But those who've studied the moon for decades knew the moon doesn't have natural metal deposits that large. So what was it? The mysterious gel-like substance. Months later, U-22 rolled over a small crater, and its cameras captured something strange. A substance unlike anything seen before on the moon. Chinese scientists described it as gel-like, dark, shimmering, with an almost organic texture. The images were blurry, deliberately low resolution, but amateur astronomers and UFO researchers immediately noticed something off. The substance didn't match known lunar minerals. It didn't behave like volcanic glass or impact melt. So what was it? Some speculated it could be molten metal from a buried structure. Others whispered alien residue. Then, just as quickly as it was discovered, the topic vanished from official reports. Why? The missing data. Here's where things get really strange. Normally, space agencies share their findings, images, data, analysis. But China? They released only what they wanted the world to see. High-resolution images of the gel-like substance, never released. Detailed scans of the underground anomalous mass, classified. Even more suspicious? The rover changed its path shortly after the discovery, veering away from the site as if ordered to avoid it. Was it just caution, or was something there that China didn't want the world to know about? The whistleblower's claim. In 2020, an anonymous post appeared on a Chinese science forum, written by someone claiming to be a CNSA insider. The post was quickly deleted, but not before it was archived. It read, "The far side is not dead. There are structures, ancient, not ours. No evidence, no proof, just those words." Now, was this a hoax? A disinformation campaign? Maybe. But then why did NASA suddenly express unprecedented interest in China's mission? Why did top US space officials start publicly demanding that China share its findings? And why, just weeks after the gel-like substance was found, did the US announce its own urgent return to the moon? Coincidence? Or competition for something they already knew was there? The forbidden zone, a place of secrets. Let's step back for a moment. The far side of the moon has always been different. It's thicker, more cratered, and most intriguingly, it has a massive, unexplained gravitational anomaly beneath its surface. Scientists call it the South Pole Aitken anomaly, a structure so dense it warps the moon's gravity. Some say it's the remnants of a giant asteroid impact, but others aren't so sure. Because in 1998, NASA's Lunar Prospector mission detected something else, unusual magnetic readings. Readings that shouldn't exist on an airless, geologically dead world. And now, China's rover has found metal beneath the surface. Are these things connected? Is there something buried in the moon's dark side? Something ancient? Something not human? The silence speaks volumes. Here's the most chilling part. In science, when something isn't there, researchers say so. We found nothing unusual. But when something is there and they don't want you to know, they stay silent. And China? They've been very silent. No further details on the gel-like substance. No follow-up on the underground mass. Just radio silence. Meanwhile, their lunar missions have multiplied. Chang'e 5, Chang'e 6, plans for a permanent moon base. Why the sudden rush? What do they know that we don't? The unanswered questions. So where does that leave us? With more questions than answers. What really caused that strange signal beneath U-22? Why was the gel-like substance never fully analyzed, or at least never shared? Why did China redirect its rover instead of investigating further? And why is every major space agency suddenly racing back to the moon? Is this all just scientific curiosity? Or is there something else driving this new space race? Something hidden in the shadows of the far side? One thing is certain, the moon's secrets are far from being fully uncovered. And whatever China found, they're not in a hurry to tell us. Chapter 3, The Cover-Up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the truth is still out there. This is KM Celestial Journey, signing.